basically the general question to the panel, and I'm being kept intentionally silent during this meeting because, you know, I do run away with my mouth sometimes, but never mind. One of the questions to the panels that I want to ask personally is, from these perceived adversities due to COVID-19, do you actually see any business opportunities for yourselves, or do you see insurance evolving in some way later on where advantage can be taken?
I think to answer to what Udai is asking, two things which we can be looking at, because I think the recent case in point is the Wimbledon payout, which has been splashed over everywhere. And there are queries coming in, is there some sort of insurance which is available? Can we design a product? Can we go for a product? So that demand is picking up. I don't know what will be the offtake after this crisis is over, but yes, at least that awareness has come in. So that is one thing which one can look at. How do we create certain products? How do we create something which is going to benefit the people? Another thing which will, I think this is teaching us, this event is teaching us is, like many of us are working from homes. So now, is there really a requirement of going to office daily? Is the infrastructure cost worth it that you need to incur? So that will throw another set of, I think, paradigm shift in the approach of how we do or conduct business. And the third is that as now we are basically working on the virtual world, so even the sale or the transaction of the insurance policies will move more towards digitization, because right now, at least in Africa, we are more comfortable dealing with in person, dealing it with through brokers or agents. But I think this will change over a period of time when people will go for digital buying, and digital activities will increase. So that's my take on this opportunity or the change in the way we conduct our businesses. Thanks.
I'm just wondering, I mean, obviously you're mentioning the fact that there might be new business opportunities coming forward. I'm just wondering how much insurers will need to do a good PR campaign to show the value of what they have to offer if they're not paying some of the claims now that people might expect them to. Do you think that you will need to sort of sell the industry a bit harder going forward, or do you think it will be something that will come naturally, that will actually be quite an easy sell?
No, it will be a hard sell, no doubts on that, because see, as it is, let me put it, all of us are in the same industry. Insurance industry is not perceived very well when it comes to paying claims. People always have that doubt in the mind that insurers never want to pay. So with that background and these circumstances, however best you try to explain to them, they will still come back and they will say that, oh, we knew that you will try to hide behind the fine print and you will not pay the claim. So it will be a hard sell. It will not be an easy sell, even going forward. But at the same time, I think this is also a reason. I think Corneille mentioned that, and that it's again lack of education on the part of the industry, I would put it, that we did not tell what are the ones that we are excluding somewhere or the other. So I think it has to be a balance in terms of educating and then going for the hard sell, what it is covered. Because on the question on the BI, at least we would have received not less than 20-25 queries from various people. Is it covered? Is it covered? So that question is coming back. So I think it will be a difficult sell. It will be a difficult sell going forward.
Liz, can I just make a quick comment here? What I'm personally seeing is the specialist reinsurers. We mentioned event underwriters, event cancellation underwriters, and also I believe the aviation industry as well, due to airspace being locked down in various countries. They are feeling the pinch at the moment in terms of having to pay claims in the case of events or total loss of business altogether. Is it not the case that insurers in Africa can see this as an opportunity once it's business as usual to push those products, because these underwriters who have lost business will want to make up their budgets in the rest of the year. And is that not a business opportunity to the general panel?
I think, Udai, maybe what we should look at is from, a purely, if you look at what insurance is about, we are looking here at an event where it's virtually impossible for you to quantify the exposure. You can't quantify the accumulations. There is very little that you can understand about what's coming next. So, and you are not purely selling for COVID. The last major scare in Africa was Ebola. Corneille has mentioned Lassa. And then COVID came as a complete black swan. No one had contemplated an event of this magnitude impacting the world to this extent. So I think there are limits to what we can postulate regards what insurance can do, what we can do as insurers. And I think we have got to limit it to events that we ultimately are able to price. Ultimately, where we can collect a premium and know the extent to which we are exposed for that premium that we have collected. And I, for one, in the context of Africa, what I will be seeing and what I will be expecting more of, and we've already started seeing agitation for that, is we will be seeing insurers trying to make sure they come up with bulletproof exclusions to ensure that they are not exposed in scenarios like the one that we are observing. Rather than coming up with products, my view is what you will see is insurers trying more and more to protect themselves from exposure to these kinds of, to the kind of scenario that we are facing under COVID. My view is, and I think it's a view informed by the fact that in Africa, we have struggled to sell insurance, basic motor, personal, household, life, retail insurance. We have been struggling. So to imagine us being able to come up with solutions or with a product that is able to respond in a scenario similar to the one that we are faced with under COVID, in the current circumstances with COVID-19, I think it's expecting too much. My view in the advanced markets, the Swiss Re's of this world, the Munich Re's of this world, the Hannover Re's of this world, will be working to ensure that when this happens next, the world or the insurance world is better prepared. But in the short term, my perspective about the African market is we will try to protect ourselves more in scenarios where things come up that we do not understand and that are likely to blindside us. Thank you.
So it's a true one. We definitely are going to tighten our policies and treaties. I believe that's a fact, the reactionary fact. But I also believe that there is now enough data in the West from COVID-19 for maybe some models to come up, and gradually maybe we'll do follow-up when the capacity is created. But I think the more urgent responsibility we have as an industry is, in a way, to protect ourselves as well, is really to push for maybe the pool, something like that, because I think governments have understood now the impact this can create. We should make them understand that there is no insurance coverage at this point, and it's going to be difficult, a comprehensive insurance coverage for something like this. We most probably will be seeing some other resurgences or another virus in another form. So I think if we could organize ourselves into pushing or leading creation of, having those funds kind of turn into pools that, as we've seen in the past on the other pools that we've run successfully. So my take is maybe that's the leadership we ought to create. instead of letting some of the regulators sort of, in a way, take us to in a very difficult direction.
On that issue of pools, Hope, do you expect there to be like a public-private partnership in terms of funding?
Yes, that's what I was thinking about, because this is a realization that these are not things that the private sector alone can cover, but we have the expertise in terms of managing some stuff like that. So it's a public-private partnership. The governments need to come in, and then we try and provide some solution like that, at least in the short term, until we are able to, first of all, understand more about these pandemics and get more statistics. I mean, in Africa today, even as we see the registered numbers, we really are not sure because we are not testing. I'm told that in Kenya, they are starting testing Kibera, one of the biggest slums, and that will give us some compulsory testing. So I think that will give us some ideas. But at this point, we don't even understand the infection rate. We don't even understand the death rate. So how do you indeed price that? Yeah, so I think we need to find a solution in that way. We need to lead that conversation around a pandemic is going to happen again, that we are sure of now. Let's pull together to be able to have social protection.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Lawrence and I think Hope have said. I think at the moment, the priority of the focus is really to survive the post-COVID-19. And I think that's where most companies at the moment are grappling, how do they survive this current situation. I happened to attend a virtual meeting with all our regulator had called, I think last week, with the CEOs, and clearly you can tell the situation is quite dire, and there are challenges ahead. In Kenya, for instance, the RBC, risk-based capital, was supposed to kick in June. I think that will now be thrown into disarray. It came out very clearly in that meeting. Most people have already made it very, very clear they will not be able to achieve those RBC requirements. And of course, now what that means is that we already had a weak industry, which will be further weakened by, obviously, the effect of COVID-19. So the situation, I think, after that will then be very interesting, because how many companies then will be able to survive and continue in business and provide a suitable returns to their shareholders. So really at the moment, in my view, is we have a weak industry. I'm not sure we are in a position even to take advantages of the opportunities that may arise. And probably I would echo what Hope said, that there is a real opportunity now for more pulling together in order to provide capacity. Yeah, that's just what I want to comment.
I want to say that there could be some opportunities to be seized by those who are capable, and I think there will be some. I think that there is a big impact in terms of awareness. Awareness in some of the job categories, like restaurants and lawyers, other people. I think that we may see a demand from the banking sector when especially they give loans to people to ask them to have a cover in terms of loss of business interruption or loss of revenues due to declaration of emergency, state emergency. And this may be acceptable as long as it has a cap. So for example, a cap of 15 days of 3 months, things like that. So insurance may intervene and repay the loans or the interest or something like that. I think that there is a demand. Everyone today, from a work construction staff, a worker in the construction industry somewhere in Africa right now who is locked down somewhere without revenue. So I think there is a kind of awareness. It's up to us as an insurance community to come up with products which are very easy to understand and which are also very easy to sell because today everyone understands that IT platforms are going to be the future in terms of selling their products. So I think there is a huge opportunity to be taken there. We can extend the reasons of the business interruption. Now people can understand the business interruption due to other perils like floods, riots, and so on. People will now understand that a lot of things can happen suddenly and they can have a huge impact on the business. So for me, I can see that kind of opportunity which can take up. Thank you.
In fact, I would just make a comment that what Hope was saying, that our expertise in terms of managing such sort of pandemics are not there. But at the same time, if we look at it not from an insurance point of view, but pandemic bonds have been in existence for a while. And as I understand, somewhere there is one pandemic bond which was subscribed by the World Bank also is likely to be called for, and it's close to about $200 million or something like that is a compensation that is going to come in. So there have been some, I would say, instruments which are available, but on the reinsurance side, I don't know whether we have adequate data, adequate information or capabilities to manage it.